Hello dear students, today we shall study the new lesson from your textbook Moments, that is The Adventures of Tutu, written by Ruskin Bond. Before going to study about the lesson, let us see about the author. Ruskin Bond was born on 19th May 1934, is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Landor, Missouri, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in the year 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Tehran, his novel in English. He was awarded the Padma Shri in the year 1999 and the Padma Bhushana in the year 2014. Now, let us begin the chapter. Have you ever had a baby monkey as a pet? Tutu is a baby monkey, and let us find out whether he is a mischievous or docile. Dear students, here docile means decent. Grandfather bought Tutu from a Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. Dear students, here feeding trough means a large container for feeding animals, and Tonga means horse cart. So here the writer's grandfather purchased a monkey named as Tutu from a Tonga driver by paying 5 rupees to him. So the Tonga driver had tied the little red colored monkey to a feeding trough so that he could not run away. When the writer's grandfather saw the monkey, he had a desire to add him to the collection of animals which he had in his zoo at home. Let us see next. Tutu was a pretty monkey. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief beneath deep-set eyebrows, and his teeth, which were a pearly white, were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. But his hands looked dried up as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. Yet his fingers were quick and wicked, and his tail, while adding to his good looks, grandfather believed a tail would add to anyone's good looks, also served as a third hand. He could use it to hang from a branch, and it was capable of scooping up any delicacy that might be out of reach of his hands. Dear students, here Anglo-Indian means a person who was relating to both Britain and India, and pickled means food that is preserved in vinegar, and scooping up means lifting. So dear students, here the writer gives a description of the Tutu. He had bright, shiny eyes which were full of mischief. The eyebrows were deeply set on his face. His teeth were like pearls. Many ladies belonging to Anglo-Indian community got scared when they saw his teeth, which were displayed when he smiled. And Tutu's hands were dry and wrinkled as if they had been dried in the sun like pickled vegetables. And he had a long tail. The writer's grandfather thought that the tail added to the good looks of an animal. And as Tutu's tail was like a third hand for him because it helped him hang from the branch of a tree, and he also used it to lift objects which were beyond his hand's reach. Let us see further. Grandmother always first when grandfather brought home some new bird or animal. So it was decided that Tutu's presence should be kept a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into my bedroom wall, where he was tied securely, or so we thought, to a peg fastened into the wall. Dear students, here peg means a hook. So here the writer's grandmother was against the grandfather's attitude of bringing new pets or birds and animals. So the grandfather thought that they would conceal this fact from her until she was in a good mood, and when she is in a good mood, at that time they would disclose this to her. And also, the writer and his grandfather secured Tutu in a little cupboard in the writer's room, and in order to be sure that Tutu did not escape, and they tied him to a hook in the wall. Let us see next. A few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Tutu, we found that the walls, which had been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out as naked brick and plaster. The peg in the wall had been wrenched from its socket, and my school blazer, which had been hanging there, was in shreds. I wondered what grandmother would say, but grandfather did not worry. He seemed pleased with Tutu's performance. Dear students, here ornamental means decorative, naked means uncovered, wrenched means broke, socket means attachment, and shreds means cut into thin slices. So here the writer and his grandfather went to Tutu after a few hours. When they went there, the sight was shocking. As Tutu had torn the decorative wallpapers, he had broken the hook and he had escaped from his binding. Also, he tore the writer's blazer into thin slices. Let us see next. He is clever, said grandfather. Given time, I'm sure he could have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into a row and made his escape from the window. Dear students, here the grandfather was quite delighted to see Tutu's adventure, and he felt that Tutu was very clever, and he said that if they would have given him some more extra time, he would have tied the thin pieces of the writer's torn blazer into a rope and would have escaped out of the window also. Let us see next. His presence in the house still a secret. Tutu was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarters where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. A tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame squirrel, and, for a while, my pet goat. But the monkey would not allow any of his companions to sleep at night. So grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. Dear students, here sociably means in a friendly manner. Dear students, here Tutu was shifted to the servants' quarter. He was put in a cage and he would live with the other pets in grandfather's zoo. The zoo comprised of a tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a squirrel, and the writer's pet goat. Tutu was very mischievous. He did not let the animals sleep at night. So the writer's grandfather had to leave for Shahranpur the next day. What he decided to was that he wanted to take Tutu along as he was unmanageable or uncontrolled to Tutu. Let us see the next. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterwards. A big black canvas kit bag was provided for Tutu. This, with some straw at the bottom, became his new abode. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Tutu could not get his hands through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. His efforts to get out only had the effect of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air. An exhibition that attracted a curious crowd of onlookers on the Dehradun railway platform. Dear students, here abode means home. So the writer was disappointed as he could not accompany his grandfather and Tutu on the trip. His grandfather narrated the happenings of the trip to him later. He had got a special bag for Tutu. It was made of a strong material like canvas. He placed some dry grass at the bottom of the bag, and on the trip the bag would be Tutu's home as he would live in it. So the bag had a zipper on the top of it. The writer's grandfather ensured that when the bag was closed, Tutu would not be able to escape out of it. Neither could he come out of the openings as it was closed with a zipper, nor could it bite the strong canvas material in order to run away. Still, Tutu made unsuccessful attempts to come out of the bag, but due to this, many a times the bag would roll on the floor or it would certainly jump in the air. These movements were noticed by the people on the railway platform and made them curious to know what was inside the bag. Let us see further. Tutu remained in the bag as far as Shahranpur, but while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, Tutu suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. Dear students, here turnstile means a mechanical gate consisting of revolving horizontal arms fixed to a vertical post, allowing only one person at the time to pass through. So, dear students, Tutu remained secured in grandfather's bag till Shahranpur. But at the Shahranpur railway station, the writer's grandfather was taking out his ticket to cross the turnstile. At that time, Tutu peeked out of the bag and smiled at the ticket collector. Dear children, the remaining story of the lesson will be continued in the next class. Till then, take care. Have a nice day. Thank you.